Welcome back to Connect with Jonathan Mark. This week's episode is a extremely heavy one. This is from a listener who sent an email asking for help. It is such a recent case, it's not even a year old. Now, they sent the email at connectjonathanmark@gmail.com. And just so you guys know, we see all emails and we want to help every single one of you. Now, Anbria sent us this email asking for help, and it really pulled at my heartstrings. It involves her daughters that witnessed this horrific incident, guys. So because of how hard and difficult this is, we are going to be censoring names to be protecting all parties involved. It's going to sound like this. Let's jump right into this. David, who's that?
It's my husband.
So what's interesting, because he wants me to let you know this, before I really get into the case, there's a couple things, because he's a very, do you know people that are like big people, but they're like a teddy bear inside? Like my brother's like that. He's a big person, but he's like a softie inside.
Yeah.
Or he's just like really soft, you know, to the people he cares about and stuff.
Yeah.
He wants me to let you know this before I dive into this. He seems he's with someone with an R name.
His dad.
Do they share the same birthday or something?
They do. They share a birthday.
Because he's swaying balloons back and forth. So I just he wants you to know he's okay. So before I get into some stuff, I don't want you to think like he's not settled and he's not good. I do have a question. Do you have 3 daughters or 3 children?
We have 3 daughters, me and David, yeah.
Do they all have the same initial, like your initial, like the A names?
Yeah.
Because he keeps saying he's missing them like crazy right now. And what he's also showing to me too is this, that it looks like one of the older daughters, did she witness his, like the body of him and everything?
She witnessed it happen. The whole thing.
Because he keeps saying that the oldest witnessed
him die.
Yeah, a horrible event that occurred. Another thing he keeps sharing with me too, which is why I'm trying to ease into everything, is there's a couple of things he wants me to talk about. The first thing he wants me to talk about is this. There's been zero movement in his case at all, is what it seems. There's been little to no movement. What he's also showing to me too with this also, just he wants to give me like background, is it did seem like there was movement kind of in the beginning, and then it became like a complete halt and stop very, very quickly. And what it also seems too is that the after effect of his passing was also very traumatic too. Like the things that kind of occurred after.
It was.
Because he keeps talking about, and this is actually very interesting because I recorded a case yesterday and he's shown me something that's very similar to this. It's the company you keep, is what he keeps saying to me. It's the company you keep. And he keeps talking to me about, I guess, like it's not, I don't want to say his immediate group, because he seems like he hung out with his family a lot. I don't know if he had like a lot of cousins or siblings or whoever, but it seems like there were a lot of people in his life. But he keeps talking to me about the people that were kind of like a second degree or third degree away from them were not. Like, he seems like a gentle teddy bear. The others seem like, from what he's showing to me, a little bit tougher exteriors at times with things. And not saying that they're bad people, his family, that's not what he's talking about. It's the second and third degree people that are like associated to them at times.
Yeah.
And what he's saying to me as well too is it's kind of like a home robbery that went wrong, is what he keeps saying to me. Because that's what he's showing to me, is someone breaking in and taking his life. So he's literally showing and I'm assuming why he's making that reference to me is because obviously when people break in, people always associate a robbery that comes with it. But he's also saying this to me too. Did he try to defend himself as well? Like with things?
So before he was shot at home, and the person did come through the back door very unexpectedly. But right before, about 40 minutes before that, David had left and went to the bar, got into a fist fight with one of his best friends. It was one of his best friends, like very best friends. David hurt him pretty bad. David went home 40 minutes later, somebody came in and shot him in the back 13 times in front of our daughter. So
it just seems like it's the company that he kept.
Yeah.
And what's interesting, I guess, about this, and again, the only reason why I'm saying it's interesting is because it's still not solved, or it's really just the pace of how the case went is really what's the interesting part of this. And also, too, what he's showing to me, it's another A name.
He has a little cousin named that was present in the home when David died as well.
Because he keeps talking to me about him, about like not him being like a suspect or anything. That's not what he's talking about. What he's talking to me about is the company that was there the night of, and also how no one was able to identify this person, it seems. Like it seems like it was very in and out, even though you just mentioned he was shot a lot, it seems. It's no one was able to identify anything. And what he's saying to me too is, without pointing fingers, because I don't want to, I just think that people need to revisit certain people at that bar and just talk to them, because what he's showing to me is, I'm trying not to point fingers. That's the only reason why I'm like trying to figure out how to say it.
I feel it.
You know what I mean? Like I'm trying not to point fingers and stuff.
There's a few people that worked at the bar that night. One, during the time when David died, he and I were together for 11 years. And when he died, we were separated for 8 months. The only 8 months we've ever been separated since we've been kids. He had a girlfriend that worked at the bar. And she called him to the bar because his best friend that was there that David got into the altercation with had said something to her that she felt was out of the way. I'm not 100% sure what he said to her, but she called David and he came there and they got into a fist fight. David hurt him pretty bad and then left, but she stayed behind after like David got into the fight with him, and David went home to our girls, and she was still there. She was still working. So I know that she's pretty close with a lot of people that work at that establishment. So and all of those people are pretty well connected with each other. So,
well, because what he's also showing to me too, and which is why I'm just trying to be careful with what I say, is, you know how like there's certain, when I say dive bars, certain like groups of people will go there just because that's just a spot that they hang out and they all grab drinks and things that they do. Because what he's showing to me, it's a very routine dive bar or type of establishment or bar, whatever you want to call it, where I'm not saying he was a regular, but he would go there. Like he knew everyone there. He doesn't seem like he like didn't know like everyone there, because what he's saying to me is that those people are closing their lips and not saying anything. And the reason why he's bringing this up to me is because they're not even really speaking to you about this at all. It seems like you're a little bit like 2 steps or 3 steps like away from this. And what he keeps showing to me, and the reason why I'm like, again, I know I already mentioned this, I'm just trying to be careful, is because, are you from like a smaller town area? Like, because that's what he keeps talking to me about, is when someone says everyone knows everyone, kind of like everyone, like he's saying that becomes very tricky. And he keeps saying to me, and I'm not saying this, I'm just using this as an example, but I'm going to allude to this for you. If like police know certain people and people have relationships with certain, whether it's police or whatever the case is, because what he's saying is people are typically pretty, he's just showing me like everyone knew everyone and everyone had a connection to something or somewhere there. Like you couldn't go out somewhere without knowing someone, essentially. Like you would bump into someone. And what he's saying to me too is the problem that he's like showing to me about this is that no one is speaking up on your behalf, it seems, or on the children's behalf. And what he's also saying to me too is that you are now left, because this seems relatively like very recent. This has, I mean, it's been a year, right? Like almost a year or so.
Yeah.
I want to ask you this too, because he's underlying this. Who has the J name around him, or like the J sounding name around him?
Around him?
Yeah.
J. He has a grandma that passed.
Do a lot of his friends go by nicknames?
Mm-hmm. There's a guy named.
That's what he's talking. Like, that's why I wanted to just talk to you about, because
I just got chills with that. Yeah.
For one, I have to ask you this, and this is just a side note.
It's fine.
Was he known for doing like flips or something?
Yeah, he was so big. He was this big guy, and he would do tons of backflips and like gainers and stuff. Like he was very like you would not look at him and think that he was doing that. Okay, and he was.
Yeah, like he's flipping right now. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like,
oh my goodness, I know he is.
Yeah, that is actually very funny. I'm sorry, I had to say that because he's just literally just tumbling. I'm like, what the hell is he doing?
I know he is up there. He was actually just teaching our children last summer or the summer before that, trying to do flips off the diving board.
Oh, really?
That's what they would do. Yeah, like he's a big on that with his big self. You wouldn't think he would do it.
Yeah, because he does seem like a big, like it's just like a big guy. Like he doesn't. Like, yeah. He's also one.
He was.
I want to ask you this too because he keeps. I know I'm trying to mix them both because he is such a good dude. He is a good guy. Did he have long hair?
He had dreads. I actually have.
Okay, because he keeps putting his hair in a ponytail. So that's why I was just like, he keeps pushing his hair.
His man bun.
Yeah, like I was like, that's
flipping it. His hair flip.
Yeah, he keeps doing that because he keeps basically showing to me. He's like, he really needs you to know like he's all good. He keeps going back to the J nickname because he wants me to tell you that, do I think you should go and speak to him like aggressively? I don't think so at all. Like, just to be honest, because he's saying you have to be very careful with the people that you speak to surrounding his case, because it also seems like the people, because this is what he keeps showing to you, people that were close to him, he keeps putting like parentheses, like close to him, are the ones that turn their back, it seems, on not just you, but like your family or his children after this. It's kind of like they kind of were there and then they pulled away. Like they pulled away. Because what he's showing to me also, like when the police started to investigate the situation, because what he's saying is they're taking it as a fight that went wrong, kind of, and they're alluding to potentially what transpired, but they didn't really investigate is what he's showing to me. He's also saying that the police situation is so small there, like where you're from. It's not like a large department, and he's saying the resources are extremely slim is what he's saying. Like there's not a lot, and if it's not like and I'm not saying there's anything bad towards the police, but if it's harder to solve, it makes things more difficult for them to use resources if they don't know really where to go. But he keeps talking to me about the J nickname is where things should start and originate, because things are going to steamroll from there. And what he's saying, again, because this is the most important thing, he's smiling, saying as much as you want to be like the mama bear for him and just like kind of go at it to give justice for him, because there really should be justice for him. He's saying he just needs you to be very careful. Like that's his biggest thing, because the people he's saying are very dangerous, is what he's saying. They're not easy people to like have a normal conversation with, because he keeps saying that things go sideways pretty fast, pretty quickly with them. And what he's saying also is he's proud and thankful of you because, like I said, your daughter witnessed and saw his body and everything, and how you're making it, and you're making her. I think the thing he keeps saying, and I know this is silly, so he keeps putting like a hand heart in front of me, saying like the love that you're providing to like try to leave that memory behind is very difficult, but also very rewarding, because he's saying you're doing such an incredible job at it. And he's saying that it seems like his family is trying to step up with you. It seems, because his family, as much as you're hurting, he keeps showing to me like he seems like his family was like this from what he's showing to me. Like the family must have been like pretty tight knit, but really with the
they used to be. Who has the
AZ name?
Our youngest daughter.
Okay, because he keeps grabbing her like face and squeezing it, saying that she's getting so big so fast. Like he's saying from when he passed to where, to us talking, he keeps pulling a string, saying like she got big. Like, like he's joking, saying that she became an adult. Like, did he call himself like the Lion or something?
Yeah, so in his obituary, it says Daddy Lion.
Daddy
And
lion.
that's what we would call him. Yeah, because he used to lick our girls on the forehead and then lick their hair and call them his little cubs. So
Oh,
we used to
okay.
just tell him he was
Oh,
his daddy
really?
lion.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So we told him he
Okay.
was a lion because he would lick them like their doggies or cubs.
Okay. I was like, I didn't know
Yeah.
if that was like his nickname, just like with his friends and
Yeah.
stuff. Like, I had no idea.
No.
Can you please just share with everyone, like, kind of what happened? I just want everyone to hear.
The night David passed, he was at home. He lived with his grandma at the time. And he was at home with our three girls. And he had a girlfriend who was working at a bar called the Electric Company. And she's worked there for a while. And David was a regular there for at least a good 7 months up until his passing. Now, he had a best friend. Him and his best friend were not currently in a good place at the time of his death. The night which was March 31st, 2024, it was the weekend of Easter. So she was at the bar working. His best friend was there. He said something to her along the lines of, "Where's Dave at?" or something like very like derogatory in a derogatory way. She took a second, went and called David, told him about it. David at first, I don't know exactly why he felt like he needed to come drive to the bar to say something to him about it, but he did. And David came there. They got into an altercation. David, from what I've been told, David hurt him pretty badly. He was laying down cold on the ground when David left. David made it back home to our girls, which is about 7 minutes away from the bar. So it's not a very far distance. David was only home for about 30 minutes, maybe 40. My oldest daughter was there in the kitchen with her dad. The other girls were in the bedroom laying down with David's sister. Now, his sister is only a couple years younger than him. So she's in there putting the girls to sleep. And not from what my oldest daughter says is she was standing in the kitchen. Daddy was standing in the kitchen. He was on the phone, turned towards the living room. And the back door was behind him. That's where the back door was. She said that somebody came in really fast, walked in, shot the gun at her dad really fast. It had a switch on it, so it was extremely fast. He dropped, and she said the guy ran out and immediately, started to try to like grab her dad and go into that. So there was no saving him. He was gone as soon. From what the coroner says, he was gone as soon as the bullets hit. So there was no like trying to save him. Like everything that she tried to do wasn't going to matter. So he, from what we've been told, the shooter ran. There was a car parked out front with somebody driving, and there was two people in the car from what we know. And then there was the shooter. So it was a total of 3 people involved. We just don't have any idea who. We have an idea of where it stemmed from, because outside of that incident, David had absolutely no reason to have any problem with another soul in this world. He was a very well-loved and liked guy. He was a very sweet guy with a tough exterior, with a big teddy bear heart, like you explained. He was a very Moana type of guy, like Maui, I guess. So,
yeah, no, I think you're going to get the answers. And again, and properly done, like if you speak to that name with the J, just because
yeah,
I do think he knows a lot and potentially could give you answers to the people that were in the car and there. Because again, what he was showing to me too was a lot of the people that were at the bar were involved in the night, it seems. It just seems like that to some degree, to like whether they witnessed the fight with his best friend and whatever, like people know kind of what transpired even when, I guess, that incident when he fought his best friend to even after. It just seems like there's a whole, I don't know how to explain it, because what he's also sharing to me too, and he's laughing, it's like you would think that there's cameras that can show like people coming in and out, like security cameras, I'm presuming he's talking about. And he's saying none of that. Like there's nothing is what he's saying. There's like literally nothing. So that's why he keeps joking, keeps going like ding, 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 ding. Like it's just the people that were clearly there seem to know way more, just way more. And I'm not pointing fingers in any type of way, because that's not what I'm doing, but I am definitely, saying that you should be able to get some type of answer, it seems, like from what he's showing to me. Is there any detective on?
Yeah. So the detective on his case is Detective Terry Butler here in Mansfield, Ohio, at our Mansfield Police Department. He seems like he wants to be very helpful about it. I don't think he really knows where to go from here. So,
What's so great about this is a lot of the people that listen to this show, they're like little investigators. I mean, like they will like do their thing. Like they will do their thing.
Yeah.
So please send
I'm
over
looking forward to
everything.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, please send
absolutely.
over
I will.
all the
I'll send it all
information.
over. I feel like, our town's very small. I feel like everybody knows everybody, just like you said, that came through for you. That's very, very on point for our town. There's been a lot of shootings here go on in the last couple of years. And I think that the people involved in David's case, are involved in a lot more than just his. It's a pretty it's like, I guess if we describe our town, we always say it's like just one big circle or square. And I kind of feel like that's where we're at with it. Like, yeah, I kind of feel like, his case kind of will tie into other people's cases. I really want to try to point the direction into whatever it needs to go in order to get things moving for not just him, but for everybody else that has lost a loved one here, to the same people or the same type. Yeah. Like the same people, literally the same group. So I'm hoping that will help.
Yeah, no, that's really nice. And that's pretty amazing that you want to be like an advocate and like the spokesman to like help these families. That's really awesome.
Yeah.
I think that's really awesome.
We have 3 little girls here that want to grow up that don't get to see their daddy anymore. And he was a great dad. So hopefully making a safer community for the girls will at least help.
Oh, that's so nice. Well, I just want to say thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
Anbria, thank you so much for coming on. And guys, we have some resources if you could please help her and her family out. If you have any information, please contact Detective Terry Butler at 419-755-9725 or send him an email at ti.mansfield.oh.us. Again, I believe so much in you guys. You guys always help out these families. So let's continue to do so. Guys, please do not forget to rate, review, and follow the show. I will see you guys next week.
Everybody loves McDonald's fries. So yes, you accused your mom of stealing some of your fries on the way home. But the bag did feel a little light. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.